Stephen Paul Jobs, February 24, 1955 to October 5, 2011, was an inventor and a business leader in the United States. He was the co-founder and former CEO and then chairman of Apple, former CEO of Pixar and then a member of Walt Disney's board of directors until then. During his management, he managed to bring out the light of the Mac and its three mobile devices or iPod, iPhone, and iPad. In the late 1970s, Jobs and his partners Steve Wozniak and Mike Marciola and others designed, developed and marketed one of the first successful PC business lines, known as the Apple II series. Later in the early 1980s, Jobs was one of the first to realize the commercial potential of the computer mouse and graphical user interface, which led to Apple making Macintosh computers. 11-12 after losing power struggle with the board in 1985. 13-14 Jobs resigned from Apple and founded Next, a company that develops computer platforms in higher education and commercial markets. Apple acquired Next in 1996 and Jobs returned to Apple and became its CEO in 1997. On the other hand, Jobs bought the computer graphics division of Lucasfilm in 1986, which was later known as Pixar Animation. 15. He remained executive director of Pixar until the Walt Disney takeover and later moved on to become a board member. 16-17 Jobs suffered many health problems after suffering a rare form of pancreatic cancer in 2004 and underwent liver transplant surgery in January. From January until his death in 2011, Jobs was on a sick leave during which he announced his resignation on August 24, 2011 as executive director to Apple as he moves to serve as chairman. Jobs in his letter of resignation recommended that Tim Cook be placed in his vacant position. 18-19-20 On October 5, 2011, at about 3 p.m. midnight GMT, Jobs died at his home in Palo Alto, 56. 6 weeks after resigning as executive director of Apple, a copy of his death certificate identified the cause of death as being respite that immediately caused Jobs' paradox of life, and a widespread neurodegenerative pancreatic tumor as a contributory cause. Apple announced the news of the death, saying that its late president, who was a creative genius, has left after a long struggle with the disease. 21-22